Hi, my name is Becky Moran. I'm an occupational therapist and I work for St. Joseph's Healthcare London. I'm here today to talk to you about ways that you can help recover from brain injury and concussion. Today you will learn two main ideas: how to pace your activities and how to plan your week. While they may seem like simple things, pacing and planning are the basis for your recovery journey. Pacing and planning your activities will also help you recuperate and recover after a brain injury. Before we dive into this topic and go into more detail, I'd like to reassure you that no matter how you sustained your injury, there are ways to recover from it. By adjusting your lives and changing your activity levels, there are ways to manage symptoms and have a better outcome from this injury. What are some of the symptoms you might have after a brain injury? You may have dizziness, fatigue, anxiety, headaches, noise and light sensitivities, vision and balance problems, or emotional changes. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, then you are not alone. They are very typical after receiving a brain injury. So you may have noticed during your recovery journey that your symptoms have gotten worse if you do too many activities in one day. Too many activities could be things that were very simple before but now are very difficult. For instance, it may be driving a car causes you to have symptoms, or it may be going to the grocery store, or going to a doctor's appointment, or picking up your kids from school. Patients who try to do too much too soon or too much in one day tend to have more symptoms. And they tend to be really hard on themselves in trying to get better faster by pushing through the symptoms. Patients who are able to reduce their activities are able to actually bring down their symptom levels, and they tend to have a better journey on this recovery.
Being a very high energetic athletic person my whole life, I'd have to go back to bed for 3 hours after just packing my kids' lunches for school. I am known for having a great appetite, and I couldn't judge when I was hungry anymore. And so my husband would have to remind me to eat because I just didn't feel hungry. And then just the balance and coordination, I was completely off. My midline was off. I was having vision issues. So even the simple task of walking down the hall, carrying laundry, I was bouncing off the walls like a ping pong.
When you don't manage your symptoms, here's what can happen. You start your day feeling good and you have minimal symptoms. So you decide to do more activity and your symptoms start to increase. You're dizzy and your headache is getting worse and you can feel exhausted. Eventually, your symptoms hit their peak, and you can't go any further. This leads you to a crash, and you may need extra time to recover and go back to a baseline of your symptoms. You're going to want to break the cycle of the crash followed by prolonged recovery time. Pacing your activities will help cool the brain and manage your symptoms. Planning your tasks will also help you set priorities. From time and time again, when I see patients tend to feel better faster when they plan and pace their activities, and this is a key element in their concussion recovery. What does pacing mean? Pacing is putting limits on the kinds of activities that drain you of energy, such as driving your car. You have to be aware of the road, all the vehicles around you, stoplights and signs, the speed limit, and a whole lot more. All this brain power depletes your energy and brings you into a high level of symptoms. Pacing also means reducing stimulation that brings on symptoms, such as grocery shopping. Going up and down the aisles, you will notice the lighting affecting you and the noises coming at you from the overhead music, the checkout beeps, and the PA announcements. Again, all this activity happening at once will dramatically increase your symptoms and bring you into a high symptom level.
I thought pushing it, just like I had done in the rest of my life, pushing it would make me better sooner. And maybe that works with a knee injury or whatever, but with a head injury, it's totally, it sets you back. And I kept having these setbacks. And I have a couple major ones that I'll maybe tell you about. But pacing and planning was something that I was getting told about a little bit, and I was trying to understand it, but I had my whole life going against it. And it's probably, for me anyway, the most important thing in recovery is learning to pace and plan. And at first you got to slow yourself down if you're like me, and then later on you got to learn how to push a little bit.
I think it's really important to say here that rest needs to be part of your recovery. Rest is active therapy. Rest is not a sign of laziness. It is an actual piece of recovery from this injury. Rest could mean that you actually take a nap and sleep. Rest could mean that you do some mindfulness. It could mean that you maybe just switch to an easier task.
If I have something that's going on, say at 4 o'clock, I might at 3 o'clock lie down for 20 minutes. And I find that when I'm tired and when I'm worn out, when I close my eyes, kind of shut down my brain and oftentimes doze off, it rejuvenates me, and I actually get another couple of hours of energy and the ability to kind of move forward at a better pace.
You want to simplify your day. Yes, you do still want to do everything you did before. However, you've injured your brain. Just like a broken bone, your brain takes time to recover. You may, for instance, want to take activities and alternate between physical and cognitive tasks. For instance, you may want to switch between reading and folding laundry. One is physical and one is cognitive. So Trisselle, we're just going to look at your daily planner and see if we can set up a routine and structure in your day. That way we can help you with pacing your activities out.
Okay.
What we want to try and do is write down every activity that you're doing, including rest breaks, including chores, including taking a shower, all those things, not just your appointments.
Really everything?
Everything you do in the day. Because this is where it's a slippery slope, right? Patients do a lot of things where they don't realize that it's taking up a lot of brain energy, and it's those little things that add up in the end, at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I want you to do with this is we're going to start kind of plotting out what you're going to do in the week. We have to put in the high priority tasks first, the things that you have to do. You can't not pick up your kids from the bus stop, right?
Right.
So we need to put those in first. And then what we can also do is we can actually block off some rest breaks. And I've done that for you already on some of the days here. I've actually blocked off some rest times for you. That way you can recharge the battery again.
Okay.
Okay. With the planner, what you want to do is you want to check it in the morning, and you want to check it throughout the day as well. You don't want to just check it once and try and memorize the whole thing. You want to keep referring back to it throughout the day. That way you know what you're doing.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. I just have to remember to
That's
look
right.
at the planner.
It's okay to have free time or to have blank spaces in here. Just write in what you've done after the fact, right? It can be like a log afterwards as well.
Okay.
What I also want you to try and do is track your symptoms. So start looking in to what's going on with you while you're doing these tasks. So for instance, if you're doing some computer work in the afternoon here and you start to get a raging headache, I want you to write down that you got a raging headache from that. Because we want to see if there's a correlation between the task you're doing and the symptom that comes on with that as well. Yeah. Some patients actually do really well when they divide their tasks up into easy, medium, and hard tasks. And they limit how many hard tasks they do per day, and they can do lots of the easy ones. That way they can do more stuff, and they feel like they're getting more stuff accomplished.
Seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot of work. And if you're not used to doing
does.
it, it's really hard. And it's something you have to get used to as part of your daily routine.
Right.
But most of the people who embrace this really quickly or start doing this and trying to use the planner on a daily basis actually tend to feel better faster. Because they can see what's causing symptoms and how they can kind of limit those tasks.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can kind of prevent it ahead of time.
So Trisselle, what tasks do you do that makes you really symptomatic?
I find when I'm on the computer, even though I would put it down to lowest brightness, I still find I get symptomatic, even though I've tried different type of things that I've learned.
Okay. Have you ever tried using a timer to help limit how much time you spend on the computer at all?
No, and I think that
Okay.
probably would be helpful because I stay on the computer way too long.
Okay.
I think.
So what I want you to try and do, your phone has a built-in timer to it, so just bring your phone with you to the computer, set a time, but for the first couple days I want you to track how much time it takes to get to really bad symptoms.
Okay.
That might be a half an hour, might be 20 minutes. And then after you figure out how much time it takes to get really bad, I want you to set the timer for a couple minutes less than that. So for instance, if you get really bad after half an hour on the computer, I want you to set the timer for about 25 minutes.
Okay.
And then when the timer goes off, you have to get off the computer. So you'll still get some symptoms, you'll be
Right.
slightly uncomfortable, but you won't be completely crash and burn. You won't be destroyed by it.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
And then if you don't feel so rotten, you can actually go back to the computer later on in the day as well.
I never thought of that.
So you can get more stuff done without being so
Yeah,
symptomatic.
that actually makes sense.
Yeah. And so your phone has a timer built in. Just make sure you don't hit snooze or ignore it.
It's like I gotta like pace myself.
You have to pace the computer task, exactly.
Okay.
Very
I'll
good.
definitely do that. That seems easy enough.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks.
When I get down on myself because I haven't managed to do everything that was on my list, I sort of reevaluate and say, okay, so maybe doing a marathon grocery shop and then doing 4 other chores afterwards was not a wise use of my planning and pacing. I should have reallocated those events differently in terms of how much they cost me. But in the beginning, it was very frustrating. But adopting the system and using it consistently along with my smartphone where I would track all my activities, those were so helpful to me.
In summary, pacing and planning techniques can help you with managing your symptoms and help you recover after a brain injury or concussion. Over the course of weeks, you will see changes in your amount of tolerance for activity, and you'll see that you can actually make improvements and do more tasks for longer periods without getting symptoms. To help you pace and plan, you may want to download a smartphone app called My Brain Pacer. It has been created and tested by researchers and health professionals at St. Joseph's Healthcare London. It essentially takes everything you've heard in this video and puts it at your fingertips.